Answer, because you are that, you are capable, you are gifted, and you are so unique. All of the things that you may hate about yourself are your strengths. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to be opinionated. It's okay to be different. And it's so okay to just be you. The world awaits to receive you.
Blessings, and good evening, Uncensored Enlightenment family. We're coming for a round two in regards to the 6 Memphis officers who were relieved from their duties in regards to the slaying or the demise of Mr. Tyre Nichols. So I wanted to continue our conversation from yesterday, but as you see, that video got a kids restriction because we show a lot of content that even made me feel like, But I felt like if they were showing this content out in the social media, you know, I was going to show it and we were going to talk about it. So, to continue on in this conversation, one of the things that I mentioned yesterday was at first they kept saying 5 officers relieved of their duty, 5 black officers. So I kept inquiring, where is the officer who body cam was actually used and released to the public? Now, honestly, I take that as very disrespectful because at the end of the day, that body cam was to an officer that was involved that said what he said, and it wasn't allegedly, where he said that they should have stomped the young man. And he repeated it twice. So it was just very troubling to me for me now or us now to find out that this young man, 26-year-old police officer of white race, was excluded in the original investigation somehow, some way. So I'm glad that we were able to note that yesterday, and I'm glad that Black America did what they were supposed to do. And what they were supposed to do, exactly what they did. They went out there in protest, they were calling the prosecutor office, and they were trying to get information pertaining to who was this officer body cam that was being used. So the first one we're going to actually show is an article brought to you by um, Yahoo News. And, I was a little surprised at the headline, but, sometimes when they make headlines like this, it can be race baited. So we want to keep that in mind because all of these situations do keep us at a high and low emotional roller coaster. So, as entitled by Yahoo News, white cop who wanted Cotley to stop Tyre Nichols is suspended. That's exactly what we asked yesterday. Like, who is this guy? And y'all know sometimes I be looking at pictures like, oh, he's nice. And it's so crazy. At first glance, I was like, oh wow. He doesn't look like the type, but he looks like the type that can be, impressionable, especially if he's a young officer, to do what the other officers do. And I'm not giving him no pass at all. But at the end of the day, we're going to highlight some things as well as the point that they didn't pull him out at first, which is a direct reflection of discriminatory practices, allegedly, in my eyes. Okay. So, Yahoo News, a white Memphis cop involved in the fatal arrest of Tyre Nichols, who was allegedly caught on a body cam saying he hopes the officer would stop has been relieved of his duties, authorities said Monday. So thank you, God. Today, Memphis police told the Associated Press that Preston Hemphill, 26, was relieved of his duties shortly after the January 7th traffic stop, but his name wasn't made public until Monday. Allegedly. Yeah. He is the 6th Memphis officer to be punished for the traffic stop that led to the brutal beating and eventual demise of Nichols. The department also revealed Monday that it has relieved a seventh unnamed officer from duty immediately following the incident, allegedly. But okay, so my question is, if there were seven officers that was relieved immediately, why was only five put into the general public? Is this a form of race baiting? I need you guys to, give your opinion about this because that's a little weird to me. And I'm using politically correct words because you know that my handle will be watching. Yeah, I'm going to behave. So, what that goes to say, that's a little bit weird that they're going to have five of the officers and not all seven that was immediately disciplined. Unlike the five black officer who was fired shortly after the incident, Hemp Hill and the unnamed officer are not facing murder charges. Okay, three EMTs, Robert Long, Jane Michael Sanderidge, and Lith Michael Whiftaker were also fired. We're going to talk about this Monday for the actions or inactions when called to render aid to Nicholas, Memphis Fire and Rescue announced. Henfield featured in the photo of PD Facebook page last July when he completed 40 hours of mental illness training to join the Force Crisis Intervention Team. So this highlights that this gentleman, at least they're being honest, Yahoo coming out. They coming out swinging because allegedly how biased some of these news articles can be. So at least they highlight that this officer was trained in alleged mental illness. So if I want to apologize for one of the comments that I made yesterday because I don't want to disrespect anyone when I say he appeared a little bit slower than the average person or green. This may be why they're indicating this too, because we don't know if actual Mr. Nichols had a learning disability. We all learn at different capacities, and you can be in a regular public school and a special program. So he highlighted that he had key 40 hours of mental illness training to join a special crisis intervention unit. You see, so he should have highlighted some things instead of being so aggressive. So I'm not saying that this man is not supposed to be charged. Okay. He's supposed to be one that's advocating for the situation or any situation where you see everybody acting like they have mental illness. At the end of the day, when you have officers, you have people, they're just fighting, and the officer was just fighting. He had to look at that as some form of mental illness. But no, the pressure of the blue means a lot, allegedly. So in the statement, Nichols' family attorney, Ben Crump, that man is like he's no comment. He's loaded. We need to get some more lawyers out there. And I'm just saying he got a lot on his plate. So hold on one second. All my alarms going off. They said, girl, get to work. All right. So and another body cam. So let's go back to the family attorney Ben Crump said it was Henfield who violently pulled Nicola from his car while striking him with a taser during the initial traffic stop. Something clearly captured on the body cam footage released by authorities on Friday. So as a community, that's the next thing that they're going to ask is why is he not charged, knowing that he was the one that actually set off the assault and the aggressiveness in the traffic stop. Crump and Nichols' family is disappointed in Hemp Hill's seemingly partly punishment, saying he should have been fired. He should have been fired, and it should have been taken 3 weeks for Memphis PD to release his name. He wasn't fired. They believe he wasn't fired either. It certainly begs the question why the white officers involved in the brutal attack were shielded and protected from the public eye and to date from sufficient discipline and accountability, Crump wrote in his statement. The Memphis Police Department owes us answers. So this is a little bit of update because we wanted to basically solidify what we said yesterday. And this is what you're going to see on the Sense of Enlightenment Talk. We're going to watch some things and we're going to analyze it and wait for the rest of the general public to catch up with us. Because from the door I know it wasn't released to everybody. Yes, it was. From when it was released to everybody, I think that they jumped right on it. I can't even say it was a delay. But I will say that the county and this police department delayed punishment and delayed transparency when it came to particular nations of people. It shows all the time. Okay, so we know that it was a seventh officer involved, as well as paramedics. So y'all already know I'm going to hit that. I definitely want to hit that. This live is not going to be long, but I want to hit that topic because that's some of the things why I walked away from nursing. To the family who knows, I'm still struggling with me walking away from nursing because I love it so much. And with that goes to say, I seems to evaluate certain situations from this perspective. This is why I also have a blog, radio talk, um, broadcast that one, it's therapy for nurses, and it starts off with me. Where on Tuesday mornings, which is tomorrow morning, I will have my self therapy sessions where I am talking about these traumatizing stories that took place within my nursing career. If YouTube has, let me have, rights to use my nurses to nurses page, we'll keep you up because we did update on this page about the discrimination that I felt was going on with YouTube towards me and as well as what we showed you as Corey. But we're going to keep you up on to date on some of the actions we take because I do want to contact YouTube, formally giving them my credentials, not just replying to a strike, and then moving forward to ask some questions. And also, I want to give y'all some developments on some new updates on YouTube community, or like what how they always updating on changes on policy. And I ain't gonna say it's me. I'm sorry. This is my third live. I ain't gonna say it's me, but it's very, very funny when I learn how to use the logistics and to post the videos that they can be ranked higher. That I received the email that said that something to the nature that even if you do everything you're supposed to do with your videos, like put a thumbnail, put good tags, make sure that you do an end screen, make sure that you do little points where they can come in, I forgot the name of that, tags, and put it into a playlist, it will actually increase your rankings also based on the title. Now I'm getting a little distracted because I want to tell you discrimination is all over the place. And what goes on with the discrimination is that they're doing it passively. And they would change rules and change guidelines. And obviously some rules and guidelines was bent and obscured when it came to the Tyre Nichols case and all of these officers. So we're going to go more into detail later on about the changes that YouTube made and I really felt was weird. And then we're going to explain it in detail in part two of why I believe YouTube discriminates on Black content creators, especially myself. All I can do is just show you through proof and how they treat me until they take the page down or whatever they want to do. But I will hope YouTube will love me, and then I'll be the top content creator, the highest paid content creator. Message. All right, let's keep it moving. Now, I want to go into, as I talked about before I got severely distracted, about, my love, me being a nurse and listening to the inaction of, we're not showing that video, the inaction of the actual emergency services that came to allegedly render care to Tyre Nichols. Okay, so let's get into this. This article is also, let's see, is brought to you by MSN. Seventh Memphis police officer disciplined after beating Tyrese. No, 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 no. Is it this one? Is it showing the right one to y'all? I don't think that's the right one. Hold on. Let me remove it because we're going to get into this. Because I think y'all need to understand how they review you, and not only the police, because these medical workers were supposed to do what the hell they were supposed to do. And I'm going to call them out every single time, especially since I walked away from nursing. Like I said, whatever I couldn't say on the nursing floor, I'm going to try to say it here. I'm going to say it. Okay, 7th Memphis police officer disciplined in EMT fire in Tyre Nichols case. Now, I'm going to trend down into this article because we know about the 7 police officers, the extra 2 that names are not being released. Well, one being released, the other one is not. And at this point, they're not being disciplined, but they will be. The Black community, y'all will get them. That's all I'm going to say. So, everybody should be able to find the information related to the prosecutor's office because that's public information. Get on the phone. That's all we got to do, just like they've been doing. You ain't got to go down there and protest, but you can make one phone call in the morning, afternoon, and night and make them aggravated as hell. All right, let's go. So we talked about the officer, the 7th officer, but we want to come down and talk about the emergency. So let me see the fire chief. Let's go in. Okay. Also, Monday, Memphis Fire Department is up. So this is the fire department officially announced the firing of the emergency medical technician Robert Long, and we said these names and other one in connection with Nicholas' death. Fire Chief Gina Sweet said that in the statement that the department received a call from the police to respond to a report of a person who had been pepper sprayed. The workers arrived at 8:41 p.m. as Nicholas was handcuffed on the ground and leaning up against the squad car, the statement said. Long and Sandridge, based on the nature of the call and the information, they were told that the police failed to conduct. They said they were told by the police failed to conduct an adequate patient assessment from Mr. Nicholas. So the police seem like they trying to get other people in trouble too, because it says information they were told by the police. Well, they done turned on the healthcare staff. Baby, in both eyes, they both crooked in my eyes. Failed to conduct a adequate, allegedly, patient assessment for Mr. Nichols. The statement said Winker and the driver remained in the engine. So they remained inside of the car. An ambulance was called. Okay, so the engine, I guess they were talking about the fire truck. They didn't come out. Okay, I'm like, the engine. Okay, the ambulance was called and it arrived at 8:55, which is, let's say, I'm trying to count here. I'm really slow tonight. It's about 9 minutes. No, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 minutes. I'm sorry. This is my third live. The statement said the emergency unit cared for Nicholas and left for the hospital at 9:08. So this is about a 20-minute difference, 17 minutes. So 27 minutes after Long, Sandridge, and Whitner arrived. So these 3 were there for 27 minutes. Now, you should understand that fire departments is also trained in life-saving techniques. Maybe not to the capacity of an ambulance person, an EMT worker, but they can do life sustaining and basic assessments. So you need to know if you ever in a situation and they don't touch you, if you're in the hospital, out the hospital, you have emergency personnel like, you okay? You okay? That's not what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to come on and they're supposed to get hands on, do assessment until they transfer care into the next qualified emergency person come. So this was wrong. They was there for 25 minutes just watching. The slaying of Nicholas, who was also Black, has led to days of public discussion of how police force could treat Black citizens with excessive violence, regardless of the race of both of the police officers and the police being police. The people being police. I do apologize. Now, after this, because I'm not going to go to sleep and I need to go to sleep. I've been up since 5 o'clock. I'm going to actually edit a phone call that was between me and True Bannon. And I asked him, I said, what do you want to talk about today? He was like, you know what? I really want to talk about this police beating. And he went into some details that I'm going to let y'all listen to, that I'm going to try to release by like 12 o'clock, about his experience with the Jump Out Boys. And I'm calling them allegedly the Jump Out Boys. Yesterday we talked about these alleged Jump Out Boys are called different names in different urbanized neighborhoods. Basically, they're task squads, and they are trained for specific reasons. Just like as you saw, the white officer was trained for a mental illness task squad task force, because in that area they may have a high volume of mental illness. So when the money is allocated, they're supposed to be allocated to where they have the most issues. So you'll see difference in different communities, what they're going to focus on. Like, for instance, in my community, I didn't even know they actually have a sex trafficking unit. And I'm not going to say allegedly. There's a whole story behind that I'm going to share with you. And and just to get a little straight, I felt a little uncomfortable about certain places out here in the South, in Georgia. I was like, why does that house look abandoned, but the garage light is always on? And the garage door be open sometimes, or sometimes it be closed. So different task force units for different issues. We're going to save that for another day. So what True Bannon is going to go into is his experience with some of these task force units, because he has been involved in gang activity and he is a recovering gang member. And I will say that, and I will let him explain his situation to you and how he got there. And then after we go down the series of him being able to explain his story, I will explain to you from a point of perspective of a family member, him being my brother, and having to deal with a person who has been incarcerated in this system, um, related to programs like this and policies like this. Okay. Some of the things that we talked about that we're going to release tonight, you're going to be shocked. This is our life, and we're going to tell you the truth of what we experience in Newark. So before we get off this live, because I got to go edit that video for you, on the body cam footage from the initial stop, Hanfield is heard saying, as we said again, I'm not even going to repeat the words. Nicholas' demise was the latest example in the long string of early police accounts regarding use of force. And as we stated, and as they said it in this article, there seems to be no color line in the police department and their approach towards us, because I'm going to say this. In America, in a lot of different arenas, be it political, be it reality show, be it football, be it sports, whatever, there's a gang mentality and the cliquey mentality. And what I say a lot, in my opinion, is that we have a lot of little gangs all around the United States. They black gangs, Chinese gangs, Democratic gangs, Republican gangs, nursing gangs, doctors gangs, NIH gang, vaccine administration gang, non-vaccinated people gangs. I guess that's what you want to call it. Some of these alleged group mentality. But if you have a toxic group mentality and corruption behind that in any arena, we're going to have situations like this. We're going to have these things happen continuously. I hope that was on mute. We're going to have a lot of disparities in our community, such as what you see with the officers and what they did to him, as well as what you see with the inactivity of the response personnel who came. So I do commend the fire department for going forward and firing them. It took them a while, but I would assume that the fire department would know that the Black community was going to hone in onto them next, because everybody got to go down. So I just wanted to come and share this information with you guys. It's a blessing and it's a lesson in it all. And I want to continue to share this information and our perspectives with you, because you're going to see we're going to make a lot of predictions. On any platform that I'm on, somehow I make predictions. Somehow I talk about subject matters that's going to be relevant maybe a week or two. And if you follow the trends, you're going to see what I say come true. As this week goes on, we're going to update this page. We're going to connect the page to our other family on YouTube, such as our Primetime Homebuyer sponsor page, as well as Secure Your Energy page, where we are live on Mondays, because we showed you a sneak peek last week. And I'm grateful for everyone who tuned in on actually Secure Your Energy, because we had more views on Secure Your Energy there versus here. And I'm grateful because I know at the end of the day, I have to introduce y'all to certain subject matter. So we're going to push certain subject matter here that some may not want to hear, some may do, but we know at the end of the day that when you're doing the work of the Most High, wait a minute, yeah, be judged. I'm sorry. When you're working under the covenant of the Most High, which we are doing here, and we are not perfect, we know that he's going to guide us through every endeavor, and he's going to do the same for you. You guys be blessed. I want to send love and blessing to Mr. and Mrs. Nichols, the parents of Mr. Tyre Nichols, his children, his kid's mother. Also to the young man that we mentioned last night, Mr. Marquise from Clayton County, whose life was abruptly ended by Black on Black crime. Just ignorance that we shouldn't even be doing to each other, because we have a whole system that has been allegedly geared to slow us down. And I'm saying it the nicest way that I can say it. So I want to say I love you guys. Thank you for being with Grace Levi. I'm going to getting that video together for you guys. And once we upload it, we're going to actually put it in the end title of this video, because we want you guys to hear true stories from someone who experienced the abuse from some of these alleged, and I'm not going to say it because the stories we tell you ain't alleged. That's our stories from the Drugs and Task Force Unit in the area of Newark, New Jersey. So listen out for that. It'll be uploaded at 12 o'clock on the dot, most likely 11:59. Please like and subscribe and share. Keep the conversation at a higher level, diverse. We're going to make sure that you pay attention to what's going on, to the most critical factors that actually affect you. We're going to do the celebrity gossip. We got you. We're going to keep it funny, but we're going to keep it up there, because we need you guys to maneuver correctly in society, mental, physically, spiritually, financially, and walk with the integrity of the Most High. So we love you, and we'll be releasing our next clip at 11:59 tonight. Y'all need to hear the stories we have to tell you, because literally we were on the phone today and we had a 15-minute phone call, and about 3 minutes into the story where I was telling him, y'all going to hear how it get cuts off, that they literally cut the conversation. But we're going to still record it, because he's going to still be able to call me, and we're going to tell these stories, and they're going to get out. We're going to tell the truth, because we've been in the hood and we know what it have done, and we survived it, and we're going to help you figure out how to survive it and maneuver. So you have a beautiful night, and check out our sponsors, baby. Primetime Homebuyer.
Would you like to learn a brand new and innovative way to invest your extra money that has a low barrier to entry and low competition? What if I told you that it is a guaranteed method to get up to 18 to 20% return on your investment? Tax lien and deed purchasing is the only way to get into the real estate market through the back door. No credit and no loans needed. This method isn't commonly taught, and therefore the competition is very low, for now. Put together a 14-hour info-packed course which will teach you everything you'll need to know to get started. Learn at your own pace, step-by-step guided video and aids to start you on the TLC deed investment process. The course offers many learning tools for new investors, helping ensure you safely invest in tax liens and deeds. Contact us today and join the buyback team.
Answer. Because you are that, you are capable. You are gifted and you are so unique. All of the things that you may hate about yourself are your strengths. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to be opinionated. It's okay to be different. And it's so okay to just